Hi everyone, how you doing today? This video is going to be another one of my Talking Points interview edition. While in this video, I'm going to be talking to my friend Nathan. He is into film production, and this whole topic is mainly to do with film production, whereby he's worked on films like Solo, so Star Wars Solo, the Star Wars story, I think that's how I say it, and also Spider-Man Far From Home. So he's big into the actual film production. So in this video, we talk mainly to do with how the film industry has changed, how games are used in film, and film production in general. But I feel like we're gonna have another conversation to go into the nitty gritty of how it's like to film in film, if that makes sense. So this was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad I did this one. So if you guys have any topics you want me to talk about or to interview someone about, let me know in the comment section. I'm open to it, and stay tuned for the video. And yeah, thanks. Hi, how you doing today? So we're back again for another interview style Talking Points video. Last time I covered photography with Kalina. That's up. I think it'll be up here. And today I brought my friend Nathan in to talk about film production. I've already introduced him earlier in the video, so if you want more, you can learn that there. And also towards the end of the video, he'll tell you his socials, where to find him, when to link up with him, etc. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the questions and ask you, Nathan, since you're in film production, what got you into film production?
All right, so second take, let's do this. So, we recently talked about it before, but I kind of drifted into it. It wasn't like I was like 6 years old, like looking to get into it. I don't know. I just kind of always grew up around movies and stuff. I always kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of more family time. So I was either watching it with dad late at night, watching with. I used to watch a lot with mom. Mom can watch movies all day. So I've always kind of enjoyed them. But originally kind of like my course was game development, I think at one point from like year 9 to the first year 6 one, in terms of like making games, which looking back was quite similar to the reasons I'm doing it right now. I've always kind of liked game stories, and I think the one thing about games was that it was films, but it was interactive. In a way, in that you kind of become the character, even though when I kind of got into it, it's still limited because you can only do whatever the game developer puts in for you to do. But it kind of felt like you was a little bit more in charge of the story, you was a little bit more involved. But the first year of 6 I decided to kind of go off in a different direction, mainly because I don't know, game development wasn't what I wanted in the end. I just couldn't see the life that I wanted in that particular career path. So I kind of left 6th form and I went to a college called Birmingham Ormiston Academy, which was like an art school. And they had a course there called broadcast, which was TV, film, and radio. So that was kind of the point where I started learning about cameras and film development, TV production, even a little bit of radio. I don't really know why I picked that. Like looking back, like I can't say why. I just kind of know I wanted a fresh start. And you in media studies and stuff like that, you make films, you kind of enjoy them. And even when I was doing game development, I was watching films on the side. And there was something that I guess kind of emotionally connects to you. Don't know what it is. I don't know how it works, but there's something about like a really good movie, especially I don't know why at that age that would like pull me in. I mean, I said about The Social Network, which was kind of, coding and stuff like that. Don't know. There's something about that movie. I've watched it like 25 times, right?
Wow.
There's something about that movie. Yeah, like I mean, word for word, I can probably say I love that script. For real. It's crazy. I mean, I don't go back to it that much anymore just because there is so much more out there, but definitely at that stage, like, even still now, there's a lot of lines from that movie like I can just say word for word and at different parts. It's crazy.
All right, don't take this the wrong way. Can you do the Eduardo scene? Because funny enough, right?
Which one?
The one where he got
At the end.
basically, yeah, when he got screwed over by Mark.
Yeah.
Funnily
And
enough,
he walks
recently,
over.
yeah, no
Yeah.
joke, right? Recently, I just watched that scene again because I think one of the actors was doing it on Twitter, and I was like, damn, I remember this scene. This thing hit. How did Andrew Garfield not get nominated an Oscar for it? Like,
he did very good in that role.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry to diverge, but
No,
man,
it's
Social
good.
Network is a
I
film.
know that movie. We're
David
gonna talk about
Fincher,
it later
boy.
because very good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It kind of got me way more excited than games did. I don't know what. Honestly, I don't know what it is. So I just started studying the course at college. I remember the first day I got there, and the only thing film. Actually, let me go back to that. There's the summer just before we started. And I thought, let me just start watching a lot more. Let me start looking into it because I actually didn't even know what I wanted to do within film production, within that universe. Before I even started, I just know, let me just learn it. So that was kind of the point where I kind of picked up maybe being like a cinematographer, something to do with cameras, a little bit of technology because I was a kind of tech head a little bit at the time. But then when I'm watching movies, I was always enjoying the way cameras moved, certain images. I mean, there's a lot of movies that I look at. I think one of the biggest ones I saw was there's a movie called Hero, which is Jet Li. There's a cinematographer called Christopher Doyle. Yo, you gotta excuse me, because it's been a while since I've watched stuff about like some of the trivia stuff.
I feel that.
It's a guy called Christopher Doyle. And that movie displays a lot of color, a lot of composition. And then, I mean, my biggest inspiration growing up was a lot of martial art movie. So of course you got Jet Li, but then there was a combination of a lot of different aspects. And actually at this point, looking back, if we was to look at every single department that's in film production, every single department was on point, from art to makeup to costume to camera to lighting. Like it's the combination of everything coming together in that movie. And I always like Asian cinema. So what was my point? That movie was great, and so I wanted to follow up on camera. So I picked some cinematographer. First day of college, I got there. Everybody was better than me. Everybody either had done more or knew more. That I thought anyway. Turns out that's not the case. But I was somewhat hard looking, so I thought, let me outwork everybody in this classroom.
Nice.
So I started working. I had to go get a camera. I remember everyone had like a DSLR. I was like, damn, now that DSLR had like a point and shoot. I was like, okay, no, this ain't gonna work. I remember I had to save up some money. I had to ask dad for a loan, which I did pay him back. You best believe I had to pay him back. So I remember I got myself a camera, and then we started shooting. And there was there's like the magic moment when you're kind of behind the camera, you've got a little bit image in your head, and I think there's something about those ground stages where when you go from shooting to editing and you see everything coming together, that you kind of, there's a big connection there. There's something about creation which is, I don't know, it sticks with you. And I just like that feeling. So I did 2 years there, and met a lot of people who were a big inspiration on me in film, considering I didn't know a lot about it at the time. I had a small group of people who we could talk about film for days. I remember actually we had a radio show and we could talk about films for about 2 hours straight. And the amount of trivia was crazy. I don't even know, like my memory's terrible nowadays, but back then, like, damn, you could ask me a lot and I would probably know the answer. One of us would. So there was a point where you was just like live and breathe in film. And it was just naturally, it's like, all right, now I just want to be a part of it or make my own part of it. So we left school, and then I think actually it was about 5 months after I left school, I got picked for a scheme, which was through the BFI, which was to be a part of the film project. I just thought it'd be some kind of small things, you know, you don't really get much in this life for free, or even like big opportunities. So we just applied to that, got to the final stages and got in, and then that turned out to be Star Wars, which you probably know that story.
Yeah, it just happens to be Star Wars.
Exactly, right? That was crazy. I remember telling, I mean, there's so many stories about this. I remember telling David actually, and I was like, dude, this person's got an ILM email address. And so ILM is industrial
I think
light
it's
and
Light and
magic.
Magic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is what George Lucas founded for the first Star Wars movie. I remember having to look, I was like, what is ILM? And I saw that, I was like, dude, I haven't wanted to do it. I was like, dude, this is Star Wars, dude. Get it.
Yeah.
And it happened, which was crazy, and it was solo. But then that was really just how it started. I mean, there was so much more work to do after that. But I think what's crazy about that story actually is I remember, maybe it was in my last year, I was like, yo, speaking things into existence is like actually true. I remember I said to myself, I was like, all right, so I'm finishing school. I'm like, all right, dude, by next summer, I am gonna land. I'm gonna be on a big film. I said it. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I was like, I'm gonna find it. I just thought I'd be like a runner or something. I didn't know I'd be able to get into the camera department, which is exactly what I wanted to be. But I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, by next summer, I'm gonna be on a big movie, and it happened, which is insane. Lord knows how that door opened, but it did. So that's kind of how I kind of got there. It was mainly just finding myself and finding it, with roots and branches and paths colliding to getting here. It's been like, that was 6 years ago actually when that first started, which is crazy how time passes, but it's just kind of been like a non-stop grind and work. I still enjoy my games. It's kind of nice, like in this whole coronavirus thing, I'll be getting to play some games again, but it's also been nice to get back into watching movies, which I haven't done in a while. I've just kind of been focusing on work. Now I started watching Breaking Bad again, which is amazing. Yo,
Great
I
show.
don't know what it is when I talk about like certain movies, especially the old stuff I used to watch. Like it gets me like giddy. Like movies,
No, I feel that.
They're impactful.
It's like when
very impactful.
you, sorry to interrupt you, but when you go back to some of these films and TV shows, you start to realize stuff that you didn't notice. So, for example, maybe some things are just shot so beautiful, and you're like, "Whoa, I didn't even realize this. This looks beautiful to watch," or something. Like you were like, for example, how Breaking Bad is shot. I used to think, "Oh, this thing's kind of like trash." Like the show's amazing, right? But the way it was like looking, I was like, this is right. But when you look at it and you look at how it's meant to portray Albuquerque, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Like I see what he's trying to do with this thing. Like, I do you ever feel like that now? Like, especially how you with what you know.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. Back in college, especially when I was like watching things online and stuff, I was like, you always watch, you always analyze, and I was always super excited to see like new ways that people would shoot things. Everyone has like a different perspective, and that's why I kind of picked like there's a lot of cinematographers out there that I really like. I had to say liked because it's been a while since I watched stuff, but like back then, and actually cinematographers and certain directors like the way certain things are shot. And so I was always watching that, and that's the people that kind of stuck in my head. But now, kind of, I've seen behind the scenes. There's a lot more. Like when someone tells you a magic trick, and it's like, it's not as impressive sometimes. All right, so I'll tell you something. So I was trying to watch the new Aladdin, and I couldn't for some reason. It might have been like the wrong time, but the thing with me is that I could see it's shot just in a studio and probably on a crane.
I see.
And for some, you know what I mean? When sometimes it's like, I can see that doesn't look real, or there's things certain people do for budget. And I don't know, I don't know, I've always kind of liked sometimes independent movies or experimental, more artistic movies rather than, so it sometimes gets back to why I stopped watching for a little bit, because you've probably seen it. There's a point in Hollywood where they've just been like a big money grab. And
everything's a remake or a rip-off or a sequel.
Yeah, sometimes it's just about getting the job done. I mean, they're redoing Scarface. I mean, I'm interested, but like, why are you redoing Scarface?
Yeah,
and I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I wish I could name them right now. I mean, they're doing the new Matrix as well. There's a lot of stuff that they're redoing or they have redone, or they redo and westernize it. And I'm wondering for what reason. And I don't know. Sometimes you can just see things, and then So let's get back to the point that in Aladdin, it's like I couldn't enjoy it just the way it was shot, just because I could see like it's like just being on set. It's like just being at work, and it didn't connect to me. Damn, I'm trying to think what the original point. But
I get it. It's kind of like good.
But getting back to your statement, even now when I watch certain movies, I'm actually even more impressed because I'm like, sometimes there's still a lot more effort in, or even the magic is still there. Like I'll still watch like Road to Perdition, or I haven't watched it in a while, but if I was to throw on Casino, actually, if I go watch Sergio Leone movies, the westerns, like Good, the Bad, the Ugly, or For a Few Dollars More, which I did at the start of this lockdown, I'm still blown away. And that's like movies from like the 70s. And I'm like, you've taken your time. You're ahead of your time too. I just like the fact that you kind of can. It's not just about getting the job done. That's what it becomes more about now. It's more about how much did you care and think about what you were making rather than just making it. Although I still don't mind the cash grabs. Like there's sometimes nice to put on, but
we all don't mind the cash grabs, man. When we see a new Marvel movie, it's like
there's levels to. But you know what? Even the Marvel movies now, though, I actually have a lot more respect for those too.
Really?
In a weird way. Dude, for how long has that franchise run now? Like, if we think about like the first Iron Man, was that like 10,
first
12
Iron
years?
Man was 2008, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's 12 years, right?
Yeah.
One, they're still amazing. Two,
True.
I don't think they've let up. Like, if you take outside of like camera, like just making them, they have not. That's a 12-year story. That's amazing.
That's true.
And the way it's ended.
Yeah.
Is
so far.
It's like like
I'll give them props because like. Okay, sorry. I wanted to touch on some points you said there because I love what you say there in terms of how some people actually give the craft of film their shine rather than just, hey, let's just shoot and go along with it. Like you, I like it when the films try and experiment with camera angles. Like I got into, I don't know if you've heard of this. Oh, you must have heard of this anime. Have you heard of Demon Slayer?
No, it's on my Funimation. It's
all right, you need to watch it. So basically, Demon Slayer, right, has some is by this studio called Ufotable, and they do the craziest cinematography in an anime. It's so weird that it's in an anime, but the cinematography is so on point, whereby each movement, the angles of the camera will just follow around with the characters. And it gets me thinking, like lately as well, how come films don't experiment more with their cameras? You know what I mean? Like with their shots. Because a lot of it is just, here's the movie and they just shoot it and here we go. Rather than, for example, a 1917, whereby they just had a film in one long shot, they went in different ways, you know what I mean? So it gives you more perspective of the film. I don't know if that makes sense. So like you, I get it because some people just film and say, hey, here's the movie. But some people say, okay, how can we make this shot pop in a way, and then how can we illustrate this story with the shot more than with the dialogue? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's why I really get what you mean. Like arts films.
No,
sorry.
you're absolutely right. I don't want to get into a point where I'm like, I'm talking down on people because even still, even if they were just like doing their job, probably they've took time to learn their craft and they're probably still doing amazing. But just the things that I see, which I kind of like more. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? I always forget my point. What was your question again? Because I had it in my head. Like what?
So was it to do with well, I was talking about
animes.
Yeah,
Animations in general, I've found have sometimes the best shots, sometimes the best cinematography, and sometimes fresher stories, just more creative, like a lot of things. I mean, we almost talked about it earlier, but like games, I'm definitely gonna touch on that. But if we talk about like animation, sometimes actually like Hayao Miyazaki,
Ghibli's.
It's been a while since I've seen that guy's name. I want to say it's like Aizo something. He's the guy that made Tale of the Princess Kaguya. which is another
I
anime.
need to watch that. I need to watch that.
It's
But
an
isn't that-
amazing film.
Or is it? Yeah, I heard.
Dude,
Like,
the animations have sometimes some of the best stories and sometimes the best films I find nowadays, which are just like refreshing. And to be fair, I've always said this: Asian cinema, I think, I want to say something isn't just like ahead of its time, but they
it's like they're starting to get their shine based
they're
on.
fresh.
Yeah,
They're fresh. I don't know. There's a lot of inspiration a lot of people take from Asian cinema, which probably doesn't get the light. I think people have always talked about like Inception sometimes taking from. There's a couple movies
Oh, I heard it
that he
took
might
from
have
one
taken
anime.
inspiration from.
I heard it took from one
Yeah.
anime called, I think, is it Perfect Blue or something like that? Or
If
Paprika.
it's
One
not
of
Perfect
them.
Blue, it's from the makers of. It's from the director of it. It's Paprika. Paprika's
Paprika, yeah, that was it.
which is from the director of Perfect Blue. And it has the same theory. I mean, he's still like, he's taking influence and he's still making something new, which is still great. Like Inception's still a great movie. But Asian cinema has a lot of like fresh and new ideas there. And still in terms of the camera shots. But then even if we were to touch on games as well, I remember, of course, I said I took like a hiatus from like watching movies for a while. But I remember my cousin was showing me some movies that they were showing at E3. Was it a samurai game? This was about a year or two ago.
Oh, Ghost
There
of
was a
Tsushima?
samurai game. I can't remember.
No,
I just remember it was a trailer with the gameplay, and they were in like a field full of like cherry blossom trees.
oh, it has to
And
be
I was
Ghost of Tsushima, the PS4 one.
Yeah, no, I'll have to quickly Google it, but it's a PS4 game, and I looked at it.
Okay,
I was
yeah,
like,
it's definitely
dude.
Ghost, because I've been gushing over that game for a while, and the cinematography in that, oh my god, like, it looks like a
Bro.
movie.
Let me quickly check. I think it is.
It has to be, because
Like,
that's the most beautiful samurai game I've seen so far.
At one point, I was like, dude, I might just leave the house and I'm just going to games because dude, the way that looks is amazing. Like I think everyone in general has like stepped up the cinematography level, but I just like when something just looks new, and games are definitely doing that. Everyone's definitely up in their game.
I agree.
And the colors in that was so. I mean, there's of course there's a lot of things you can do in that it's probably hard to do in real life, but like the vibrancy of the images in there, even just the environments and everything, it was just they're good to look at. Games are doing their thing, especially them PS4 Sony games. The Japanese are on it right now.
They're no joke. I've got a couple questions to ask you actually, because I'm not even gonna lie. Like, even though I didn't script these questions, but this is stuff that's really interesting, right? A couple ones. One, do you think that the success of Parasite will boost Asian cinema in the West? And actually, I'll ask the other ones later. But yeah, that's the first one.
I think so. That's just the way kind of Hollywood's a business, man. This is like it's a business end of the day. The director's definitely going to get more because I think he had I don't think he had like a mad budget. It might have been like 18 million, I think, but I think he grossed quite a bit. Like that's when you start like doing like profit like that and like probably like 300 or whatever plus percents, you're always going to attract more people and you're always going to get like way more room to do what you want to do. If I was to liken it to Damien Chazelle and Whiplash, of course Whiplash was a short film and then he made it into a feature. I don't think he had like that much budget, but one, the acclaim, and two, the amount he made, of course, allowed him to make La La Land, which he wanted to do at the end of the day. He always wanted to do La La Land, but then La La Land was even bigger, and then he got to do First Man, and at this point, he's going to do anything he wants. So I think they're definitely going to be looking for more movies over there, Korea or Asia in general. The director's probably going to get more, and people probably might start checking for it if they haven't already. But I think when a movie's that big, you're always going to get just more traffic, towards that area.
I agree. Definitely. I hope so, because that film, like,
amazing.
Boy, that film, like, I sat down, right? I'll never forget this because I saw the hype on the reviews, and I sat down and watched it, and at the end, I was just like, God, like, what a film! Like, I actually sat down, and I can't find any flaws with it. Number one, and number two, everything about it was amazing. Like, it was unpredictable. It was funny. It was dramatic. It was shot beautifully, directed beautifully, all in the space of a house. Like, how is that possible? Like, I've not seen Korea look that beautiful before in film. Maybe because, granted, I haven't watched that many Korean movies, but wow, what a film! Like he deserved all
Yeah.
those Oscars.
And do you know what I always like about those kind of films as well? I've always kind of liked when, how do I say, it's kind of like a family-ish movie. You know, it's something
Oh,
you
I
can just
get
put on
it.
with your
Like a
family,
household
and it's
movie.
like it's not even, it's a simple-ish story,
Mhm.
but it holds you for what, like 2 hours. Like I did not like didn't even blink. it was it was it was simple, but yet it was completely engrossing, and I liked that. And it didn't have to use certain features that people will put in a movie to make audiences stay. It was just trying to tell a story, and I've always liked that. I don't, yeah,
Love it.
it was
See, those
a
are the movies that I think you're talking about when you said arts movies. Those are one of
yeah,
those.
man. It's when you actually like mean it and actually believe in what you want to create.
Mm,
Um, I just need effort. That's all I want. I need
yeah, I
effort and I
feel
want
that.
belief and I need you to care. I don't mind like all the other stuff, but I just don't rate it as highly.